Hello, you little icy frosty glass of mellow yellow.
Ooh, how lovely.
Ooh.
You know what I miss? I miss Surge. Do you remember Surge?
Do I remember Surge? Get ready, fuck buddies, especially childhood friends. My friend Jess Casciano, who went to elementary school with me, grew up to be a doctor, have really cute kids, lives down the shore. She's awesome. But as awesome as she is now, she was never cooler than when she won a radio lotto in 1995 or 96 and won a lifetime supply of Surge.
Oh my God.
And proceeded to bring it to school and feed us all like toxic Avenger nuclear soda.
And shorten everyone's lives.
Yeah. It was the coolest thing that had ever happened.
That is incredible. Oh my gosh. I was just talking to one of my friends who's a baby child, like late 20s people, about winning shit off the radio and like how epic it was when it but we did it all the we would call
and
in.
You won a lot of shit, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because my mom loved free things and loved the dopamine hit of winning. So a perfect storm for Marsha.
I never won anything. I didn't even win like a silent auction.
Really?
Yeah. It's like
Did you enter a lot of things?
I always tried calling radio stations.
Okay.
I was really excited about that.
By the way, do that anymore?
Maybe not anymore.
Huh.
Maybe. I won one thing. Okay. From one college DJ to another. One of my dearest, most beloved friends in high school, and then we went to college together. He was a DJ at our college station, and he had a talk show with his roommate, and they were a lot of fun. And he would do giveaways. And once
he had a talk show with his roommate. I love everything about that sentence.
It was so great. Oh my God. I fucking love Matt just forever and ever. And so he was doing a giveaway of tickets to go see who though? Shit. Tickets to go to a play? Where the fuck was it? Oh no. That's the whole point of this story. What I'm trying to say is but really, the whole pith, I cannot remember what I won. They were 2 tickets to go see something. Thank you, God. Okay. 2 tickets to go see the Broadway production of Moving Out.
Oh, amazing.
And in order to win them, you had to call into the radio station. You had to talk to my friend Matt, and you had to answer Billy Joel trivia.
Oh.
And I'm calling him from the dorm phone. And I think it was like, what did Billy Joel want to be before he grew up and became Billy Joel?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer that I had always known that to be, as a lifelong Billy Joel fanatic, and also the way that I learned history, which is another story altogether. But he wanted, from what I understand, he wanted to be a history teacher, and that's why he could so accurately do "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Oh, that's very cute. Okay.
Right. And so I'm giving Matt that answer, and he's like, "No, hun, that's not it." I'm like, "Dude, trust me, that's it." And I pretty much harangued him. I cannot remember what the answer that he was looking for was, but I'm the only person calling, and I'm like, "Bud, I promise you, this is the answer. You got to give it to me." And finally, he was like, "Yeah, okay, hun, fine. That's not the answer, but here you go. Go see Move It Out."
Oh my God, that is so funny.
That's the only thing I won, and I'm not entirely sure I can say I won it.
I mean, hustling is definitely a win.
I sure did.
Yeah, I won $1,000 off of the radio station when I was in middle I think 8th grade. But I won it just before my sister's wedding. So most of that money actually went to the wedding, and then I immediately sprained the hell out of my wrist. So the rest of the money basically went to the medical bills.
Oh, motherfucker. That's right. Yes. Not a real special treat. Just bills.
And let's see, Bryan Adams tickets. There were always like Z104 multiple performer things at Busch Gardens that we won tickets to.
Oh man.
And my mom, I don't know, it all kind of blurs together, but my mom was rabid about that stuff. And then I'm sure I told you this, we're not going to go into this whole thing, but there was a time in high school where I had called into 96X, which was like the groovy grunge radio station.
Got it.
And they had said something to me. I had gotten something wrong, and they said something to me that was quite inappropriate to say to like a 15-year-old, but like it wasn't terrible. It was still something you could say on the radio. I don't even remember what it was. It happened. I got on the bus. I got to school, and all my friends who were listening to the radio on the way to school were like, "Oh my God, your mom." And I was like, "Oh no. What?
Oh no. You've never told me this story.
Are you serious?
I am fucking serious. I know we have an actual agenda today, but it has been tabled.
Okay, so buckle up. So I get to school, and I think I was trying to win Pearl Jam tickets or something, even though I didn't like Pearl Jam, but I knew it would make me look cool if I had Pearl Jam tickets.
Definitely.
And my mom called in and yelled at them, and they aired it. And they like literally screeched everything to a halt and started interviewing my mom. They were like, "Well, you must really care about your daughter, blah blah blah. How's your husband feel about you calling a radio station like that?" She was like, "Oh, blah blah blah, we're separated." So it quickly turned in from her yelling at them about being inappropriate to her child to them offering to set her up with blind dates.
No! Oh my fucking God!
So my mother became like the guest star of 96X's morning show for a week and a half to 2 weeks. And it was quite possibly the most mortifying thing that has ever happened to me my entire life. Including the fact that she got so caught up in being like a mini celebrity for a second. She went on a date with this guy who sounded really nice. Well, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I think if someone did this on a date, I would have a right to tell anyone in the whole world that happened. He had a glass eye. And she like went to the bathroom and came back, and he had put it in his salad and was like, "Oh no, I found something in my salad."
Yes. Yes.
So when I was younger, thinking about her telling that story on the radio, I was like, "That's so mean." But now I'm like, no. If you are weird enough to do something like that, then you should be fine with someone talking about it on the radio.
I can't believe you've never told me this.
In addition to this, the very first morning when things were all kicking up, they were like, "Oh, does anyone know her?" You know, my mom, I think, used her possibly our real last name, which was again mortifying. But they were like, "If anybody knows her, call it." And one of my redheaded friends, who was a friend, like a pal friend, called in and was like, "I know her, I know them, blah, blah, blah." And then they were like, "Can you describe her for any potential suitors?" And he was like, "She's got huge knockers." Oh, I'm sitting in like second period chemistry, just like melting down. Because one of my closest friends was talking about my mom's tits on the radio. Anyway, she did go out. She went out with, I think, 2 or 3 guys, and nothing ever came from it. But like,
whoa.
Yeah, that was, if you've ever.
I couldn't write something that horrible.
No, because people don't do that to their children.
That's every fear come to life.
Yes, it does. It sounds like I am describing a nightmare. The only thing that could have made it worse is if I looked down and was not wearing pants.
Which is still entirely possible because nobody's doing the fucking laundry. Oh my God almighty. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you from every bellow of my heart.
Man, I wish I had recorded those. I wish I had tapes of all of that. But at the time it was so awful that I couldn't even think. Oh, probably.
You know that, right? You know that. If you remember this morning show and you can ballpark about where you were, I bet you dollars to motherfucking donuts. Oh, please do that.
I gotta tell you, I think that you're overly confident with stuff like that. The radio stations destroy all those recordings after a certain time, or at least they used to, when it was recorded on analog tape. It was like a security tape. They don't keep all that stuff. It's somebody who was obsessed with my mom's knockers might have recorded. Anyway,
let's not look for that Reddit group. Wow. What a joy. Holy shit. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
And also, oh my God.
It was definitely one of those things where I was like, one day I'll look back on this and laugh, and this is the day.
But I'm laughing.
44 years. Well, not 44 years later. I'm not that old. Yeah. Never a dull moment.
Wow.
Before we move on to the agenda, I just want to be righteously indignant about something really quick.
Do it.
I recently had knee surgery last year. I recently fell down and was worried that I re-injured my knee. Hi, cat. Jesus. And I went to my doctor. Now, I have been seeing the same physician's assistant for a very, very long time. She recently relocated to a different practice. So I see a new person, and then she was not available right away to look at my knee. So I had to see a different person. Brand new person. I've never seen her before. And we have a patient portal that you can go back and look at notes and stuff like that, which I don't usually do unless it's results from something. So I was scheduled for an MRI, and I don't know what made me go back and look. But my notes said, diagnoses discussed at this meeting. And it was patient complained about her knee from a fall, whatever, knee pain. And then it was second diagnosis discussed was BMI above 40, severe obesity.
Oh, so fuck all the way off.
I declined being weighed. I have at some point been weighed there. I think I might do it occasionally because I'm curious to see if my scale is accurate. But I generally decline. I get my blood pressure. That all is fine. And I've definitely looked at my notes before, and weight has not been one of the notes. But this time it said something about my BMI, which I wrote to them, and I was like, I don't understand how you can talk about my BMI if I wasn't weighed. You just looked at me and you were like, oh, her BMI must be this. And so I wrote a very long complaint that was actually, I wrote it to the woman who runs the practice, who did my IUD. So I have experience interacting with her too. She apparently kicked it to the actual person who saw me, and she was like, oh, sorry, it's required for insurance reasons. I didn't mean to cause you any distress. And I pushed back and I said, what does that mean? What does required for insurance purposes mean? Do you guys get a bonus if you do report it? Do you get penalized and not paid if you do not report it? And her reply was very nebulous, but it sounded to me like she was dialing that back and saying, it's just something we routinely do. And I was like, okay, well, let's not though, because this is not a diagnosis that you discussed. If you want to note it somewhere, I guess that's your business. I prefer if you didn't, but we didn't talk about it. So why are you making an official note that we talked about a diagnosis?
Yeah.
Because that's trash. So I railed about this on Facebook a little while ago, and then I was gonna call my insurance company and just find out, because tons of providers were like, or like healthcare people were in my comments like, yeah, insurance won't pay you. As far as I understand, insurance won't pay. And I was like, that can't be right. And they were like, you know what? I actually don't know. That's just what people say. That's what has been said in my office.
Right.
And I was like, can you find out? And no one reported back with anything. And then other people were like, I'm in healthcare billing. I'll look into it and get back to you. Nobody has gotten back to me about anything. I called my insurance company today, and the woman was like, I said, do you guys require weight to be noted at visits for any reason? And she came back and said, if there's a medication that the dosage depends on your weight, or if you are prepping for bariatric surgery, then they have to keep close tabs on your weight. She goes, I can't find any other note about it being required.
And yet, couldn't we surmise that virtually any medication technically should be based on weight, because you have to have enough to either not kill you or be effective in your body? Or
I think that yes. There are some things, especially for children, where it's very specific and very dangerous. I do think for adults, it is largely to fuck around and find out.
Sure. And
As
probably
a theater major
also
and not a medical
huge weight
professional.
thresholds from like
Right.
150 to 250, or,
Sure.
you know, like, yeah, less granular.
And anesthesia. Absolutely. Like, I would have never
God.
declined to be weighed for my surgery. Like, please fuck me up, put me under forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, the only thing I can find anything anywhere on the whole internet is that health insurance, or sorry, not health insurance, life insurance might require it. She goes, but anything in our records and anything that I looked around, I was like, I Googled too. I couldn't find anything. And she was like, yeah, I'm sorry that someone told you that, but it's not true. So if you're listening to this and you have ever declined to be weighed and gotten any kind of pushback, if anyone has ever told you it is required, I would very much encourage you, just so that you have actual facts from your insurance provider, to give them a call and ask. And the thing is this, if anyone says to you it's required, ask them what that means. What happens if you don't? Because if it's required, that means there's a penalty if you don't comply. And that's where people get stuck. They're like, oh, nothing. Then it's not a requirement.
Right.
And fuck everybody.
Oh my God.
So that was why I was a little bit later being able to log on, because I wanted to wait and get the information from this lady.
Do you know what information I was getting while I was preparing to come and see you?
Tell me.
Okay, so my car, I have a Honda, and it's known, this particular breed of Honda is known for, like, the air conditioner compressor just kind of dies every handful of years, and that's the thing that goes wrong with it. Of all the things to go wrong with something, that is not the worst ones. I mean, it's not a fucking Pinto. So that's the thing, right? So, and sometime, I don't know how long back, maybe like 2016 or 17, that compressor went. I had to have it replaced. It through the dealership, and doing so like that was like $2,000. But I, ate it and did that. And then, this is a delightfully long story, so buckle up. Over a long period of time. In 2020, my air conditioner stopped working. But I was like, well, I'm not employed, I'm not making money, and I'm not going anywhere. So I'm just going to wait this out and maybe drive my...
not going anywhere. Correct.
Yeah, because everything else works great. I will say, it makes it a bitch when you need to defog, when you need that dry air.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
other than that, it was fine. And so I waited until it was cold, and then I drove my car again when it was cold. And so now we're finally entering, I think, the first summer that will be pretty unfettered, because I was still very isolated.
Mhm.
But I'm getting to a point where it's about to be motherfucking summer again, and I'm like, okay, do I have to just throw the money at this? And then my mom was like, hey, your car probably isn't worth this. Your car is probably technically totaled. It would be a
Oh,
loss. And I was
yeah.
like, oh shit. But it's still got years left in it. Not a ton, but like a decent amount of years on a great car. And so I found a local garage who could do it for half the price. And I was like, great, let's just fucking do
Yay.
that.
Yeah.
And I did say to him, I'm like, just so you know, take a look at it and let me know if I'm wrong about the compressor, because
Mhm.
I'm taking a guess.
Right.
Like, my air conditioner just stopped working, so I put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
But I was like, just let me know. So he calls me right before you and I start talking, and he's like, hey, who told you you needed a new AC? And I'm like, nobody, that was just me. And he laughs and he's like, okay, so good news. You don't need a new compressor. Your compressor is fine.
Okay.
Here's what happened. A creature got into your car and chewed up a bunch of wires
Oh my god.
that, I don't know, connect the compressor to the engine, however that functions. And so some fucking squirrel, and it's crazy because at some point, I know this is not a great idea, but I don't entirely care, because I have taken it to a garage and a mechanic since, and they've been like, no, your car's totally safe. And I'm like, okay. I have been able to look under my car and, a la Gremlins, see some wires just like hanging down.
Oh
Look,
no.
and I'm like, but every very trustworthy mechanic I've seen has been like, no, your car is safe. It's great. Like, good to go. And it's just that the air conditioning isn't working. So this guy's like, yeah, that's that mess of wires just hanging under your car. So I'm going to do that and replace your Freon and so on and so forth. So, I mean,
Oh my god, this whole time.
the whole time. Yeah, I know, ridiculous. And I just didn't want to like do the thing that was going to be so fucking expensive.
Yeah,
And
I get it. I get it.
Oh
Wow. That's so frustrating. Have you ever seen there's every so often there's What Is New York's, where there's people with like notes on their car that are like, please don't ticket this car, rats ate my whatever.
yes. God, I love that account.
I
Oh
know,
my
it's really the best.
The fucking greatest.
So fuck buddies, welcome to all the fucks.
Welcome back, you guys. I don't know what season this would be. I'm gonna call it a new season. Because just to catch you
The
up.
new class.
Oh yeah, totally. Just to, catch you up. We were last regularly serving you episodes while I was technically homeless and transient, and life was getting really hard. And I was like, Lillian, I don't know how much of my heart I can bring to this right now. So we
Right.
took
And
a
I was like,
hiatus.
while you're living under a bridge, you really should just take care of yourself.
Just like eat some food under your bridge and don't worry about a podcast. And then we sort of like tried to get back on the horse for a couple of months, and it was just transitional, but it's all been good transitions. And so now here we are back again, like the fucking E Street Band.
Back in business.
And we're very excited to be with you guys. We have heard you through the last, basically year and change has really been since when we've been on the rag with our episodes. But we are super excited to be together in real life and virtually and in your little ears. And we have so much to talk about. And I know that we've both actually had like concerns here and there over like, are we going to run out of stories? Like, how much do we have to unlock and like go to therapy how much hypnosis do we have to go under?
Right.
But
Right.
also, not for nothing, we have lived a lot of life since we
Mm-hmm.
started this podcast. And so, at the very least, stories keep happening to us,
Mm-hmm.
but also, like, I don't know, this special treasured space.
Yay.
Yay!
So yes, we were floating what we might talk about today. And I thought that this was such a very specific and lovely thing. But like transformational trips, right? Like
Yes.
peak experiences, actual hero journeys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Actual sort of eat, pray, love in whatever bizarre, awkward, mortifying function it may have been at that particular time.
Mm-hmm. I think that if I think about everything my whole life over, I do love traveling. I love traveling. I haven't done a lot of traveling by myself since I was a kid, where I wasn't like soloing around the world, but like I felt like when I was a kid and I was going on field trips, that on the odd occasion that my mom wouldn't make herself a chaperone. Um, Boy,
Oh God.
howdy. Why did she want to hold on to me so hard?
I would.
I in her defense, I'm very fun.
You are very fun. I mean, you really sweeten the deal here.
But but camp and the church retreats that I used to go to um were such a huge part of me clearing the noise. And even though I don't I really don't think I believe in God anymore, but and they were mostly church things, just having the time away and like prayer. Did I feel like I was talking to God? Yes. Did I always feel like God was listening? Probably not. But the point was that I was making room to sort of put into sentences, even in my brain, things that were actually issues, and what I wanted the outcome to be, and goals and plans, instead of just letting them stew and fester and just become like a giant ball in my throat that I choked on all the time.
Mm,
So I still value all of that. Like, again, whether God got me through things or whether I got me through things.
yeah.
And if it was me, then look how powerful I am. But I remember we used to go to a place in Asheville, North Carolina called Montreat. It's a college that would do church retreats for high school kids in the summer. And it was a week-long thing. And not only did we put on a very long leash with like the group that I went with, we were expected to be back for dinner for sure. And I'm sure that we had some kind of a curfew. But like lunch was definitely on our own, and everybody was signed up for different little mini groups and things like that. So you might not even see people that you got there with for big parts of the day. And it gave me more confidence in making new friends, and like being able to present myself however I wanted to brand new people without all of the baggage that I came with from where I grew up.
Shit.
It was a really big deal, and it was beautiful. Like it was transcendently beautiful. The entire campus was based around this gorgeous lake. The architecture was incredible. There was this beautiful little chapel up on a hill that was all like stonework. It was so beautiful. And then you're in Asheville, North Carolina, so there's mountains everywhere.
Mm.
So it was definitely, like, at the time I would have called it a holy experience. It was cleansing in so many different ways, and it was spiritual on lots of different levels. And then in the evenings we would like roam around, because it was a town with the college in the middle, but locals would rent out their homes because they knew that church groups were coming from all around who needed to stay near the campus. So if you just like looked around at night for people singing on a porch, it was accepted that you could just wander up and like eat Cheetos and sing Jesus songs with people you never met who might be in from like Detroit or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like I can't imagine feeling safe like that ever again.
Oh, right.
Oh my God, what a terrible occurrence.
I know. Oh, fuck. That's so sad. It's so true. Shit.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it was a huge
man.
part of confidence building for me. It was a huge part of like at it like probably my sophomore year in college is when our running water went out. Like uh, I I was once again, it's amazing that I made it this far without being on drugs or having a million worse problems that I have. Um, but it was rejuvenating, and it really, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't had those experiences, because I would have
Yeah.
just been mired in the terrible home problems. And yeah, that's all. It gave me faith that things were going to get better, and that I had any kind of modicum of control over my destiny.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, that's beautiful.
Mm. I'd like to go
Jesus.
back there someday.
You know, I feel like I have known a couple of adults who have taken themselves to a camp experience. And Lillian and I have been talking about like a fat camp, like
Yeah.
go to fat camp as an adult. But
Not the weight
like
loss kind, the fun bonding
no, the
kind.
fun kind, right, exactly. Fun camp for fat people. But like Gabby ended up going to arts and crafts camp. She took
Oh,
herself
fun.
there. Yeah, she took herself there after like just a devastating season. And she was like, fuck this. I'm going to art camp. I'm pretty certain in Asheville.
Oh,
And,
that
it
makes
was just
sense.
a bunch of grown-ups on the premises uh, for campers. And
Mhm.
they just did that for like a week, 2 weeks, like got high in the mountains and made a bunch of beautiful things. Like,
Oh God, that sounds
she loved it. She
amazing.
said it was very transformative. And my friend Jenny is currently, or maybe just finished, she and I are going to talk about it soon, just finished witch camp in New
Oh,
Orleans.
fun.
And already, like, we knew it would be next level, but like I've
Mhm.
been seeing some of her, and I can tell it's living up to everything and probably then some. But
Amazing.
like, yeah, things we take ourselves to as adults too, I think really have the possibility, the opportunity to be that kind of huge thing. I
Yeah.
wish I felt that way about a lot of the things that I did in beautiful spaces as a child, but
Mm,
because I was such an outcast and it was usually around other children, it was
mm,
usually terrible in that regard.
mhm, mhm.
Like Girl Scout camp, all of the good things were because of the grown-ups.
Oh.
Every and Brittany.
Mhm.
Um, but like all the other children can eat glass. I mean, that's not me as an adult talking to current children. That is me
Right.
as an adult talking to those other motherfuckers.
Yes, for sure. When children were your peers.
When
Yes.
they were my peers, they could eat glass.
Mhm.
Uh, so they really fucked it up for me. Like I
Mm.
was homesick and miserable in the moments, but I also was able to, especially as an only child, like watch all the queer counselors
Uh-huh.
having such beautiful sisterhood and being like, I want to grow up to be you. And like
Yeah.
the songs and just being in the woods and like all of the fun rituals were really transcendent for me.
Mhm.
And I kind of wish I could have only been in that. And I sort of feel like
Mm.
as a counselor, it would have felt like that. I was very close to having that when I was finally a counselor, but I wasn't at Girl Scout camp. I was
Mm.
at co-ed camp and it was mostly wet, hot American summer.
Right.
And every and I was 22 at this point, and every weekend we would get like 36 hours off. Was it that much? was 24 or 36. I want to say it might have been 36. We had a little wiggle room.
Mhm.
And myself and my little like cadre of favorite co-counselors
Uh-huh.
would all take off together and we would go to Burlington, Vermont
Oh,
just for the night.
that sounds like a dream.
And we would go swim in Lake Champlain.
Mm.
And we went to the teddy bear factory.
Oh my God.
And we would stay at the same exact motel called the Ho Hum, which was like
Oh my
precious.
God. So
Precious.
adorable.
And their friendlies had actual legit Vermont syrup.
Wow. That has to be
Oh,
a source of pride, like once you cross the border.
I know. It was absolute heaven, especially because, we all very quickly learned that we were working for like a supervillain.
Yeah, you
And
mentioned that.
And we were like, oh, this summer experience is definitely marred because this guy kind of sucks. So when we could get off camp, we'd all pile in my car and go up to Vermont. And that very much felt like a very holy experience. Just being there in the mornings on the lake and being like, please don't make me go back to camp. Please. Also, like, my parents, my mom's best friend, her family had a house in the Adirondacks when I was growing up, all the way through when I was a teenager, I think. And that was a place where before, me and Tess were born, our parents would go. Once we were around, we were there sometimes for holidays or for the new year or like just a week in the summer. It was absolutely heaven. And I feel like all the years that we really went there, my dad was good because I was young.
Right.
And so that was most of the travel that I did when I was young before my dad got really fucked up and became like a really bad dad. So like those are positive memories there. And I think that even if and when we went after that period of time, like this family was a safe family for him to be around. And so I knew he wouldn't try any shit with me. And yeah, that was a holy place, like with family, and it was in the woods, and I was always certain that like a bear would show up at the window, and I was both thrilled and horrified by that prospect.
That's so funny.
It was great. And like, I mean, if heaven exists, this is my version of heaven. Like, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna walk out the door onto this porch, this large Adirondack porch, where there are, ancient like pine trees that the deck is built around.
I love that.
And it's just like it's over the water, it's over the lake, and you can go just down the steps to this like hammock, this net hammock that hung right at the water. And like they had this little dock that was like falling apart and always like bumping up and down. And yeah, like it was just beautiful. It was that was the place that I think I felt safest and like most complete. And I think that's probably exactly what it is. And to the point where, every once in a while I will hope that it's for sale, so that even though that the last people who moved in there did like refurbishing, and it used to just be like a log cabin. Just, exposed wood and like simplicity and now it's like got fucking subway tile and shit. God damn it.
Time marches on.
Yeah, man.
When you were describing that deck, some of the so if you were, again, Asheville, everything's on the side of a mountain or another mountain, or you're in a valley between two mountains, and the little homes that were around, like within walking distance of the college campus, of which there were many, but there were narrow roads, often with like very steep drop-offs on one side and no guardrail, which is again, I don't know how anybody drives a car, but it's just so scary to look at. Like, why wouldn't you at least put a guardrail in? But anyway,
Then you got to keep squirrels out of your air conditioner.
there you go. But most of the homes were set away from the street, and they were up like a series of like funny little stone stairs, and everyone had railings along the side of the stone stairs were made out of like metal pipes about this big, and some of them were all wonky from where the ground had settled when they got put in, or like where tree roots had come up, so like it would still be something to hold on to, but you would be like, oh, I don't know about this. To the point where some of them, I was like, I know these people are parking their cars somewhere, but I don't know where. There must be like a back entrance where people are putting their cars, or like driving into the side of the mountain. I don't know. But like thinking about the porches that I sat on that were up so high that they did look out over things, to where like there would be some treetops that would be like near the edge of the porch and stuff like that. Slash any porch that has the fun little pillars that are like a little narrower at the top and then squat and chunky, and then there's like a ledge and then it goes straight down. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what style that is, but I find that so charming, especially like in a wraparound porch. Just like having that kind of outdoor space and being able to see beautiful things from it is so incredible.
That's my shit. Absolutely.
I was with you up until you said the hammock part. I have to tell you, I really have just never gotten the hang of hammocks. I like them conceptually, and I just don't think they're for me.
I grew up with a hammock, so I am like a hammock person. But then I'll tell you, for a while, I owned a fabric hammock, and it was only just marginally fine. Like, you kind of, in my opinion, you need a net hammock because it has to hold you. And a fabric hammock can't do that. It kind of, it's like laying on an umbrella.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the hammocks where there's wood bars on either end and it keeps it flat. That's also good. Because I bought a fabric hammock that I was like, this will be great. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh no, this is going to be me in a cocoon. Like, maybe if we were doing some weird camping thing and I had to sleep in it, maybe, but like, that doesn't seem likely. Another huge like milestone in my life was, have I ever told you about when my friends Chris and April and I drove to Georgia to escape the plutonium?
No.
So I'm guessing this was 98.
God bless.
There was a rocket called Cassini that is still, I believe either it's still out there or it's come back to Earth.
Sorry, is this a Kennedy Space Center problem?
It involves Kennedy Space Center.
Oh
for sure.
My fucking God, you legend. Okay, give it to me.
So
Floridaing.
So we're at let me set the scene better. We're at breakfast at the dining hall. So it had to have been 96 or 97 because we moved off campus after that. And April and I we were roommates, but we never talked until breakfast. So I sit down at breakfast and she's like, did you hear about the goddamn plutonium? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? There was this rocket that was the whole point was that it was going to slingshot around something and wind up orbiting Saturn. Like, it was trying to get pictures of Saturn. And they were using more plutonium to launch this rocket than had ever been used in history. And there was this group of grannies against nuclear explosions or something. I don't know. Oh my
fucking God.
Like,
what?
It only made the news because this bunch of like 80-year-old women went down to Kennedy Space Center to protest it, to Titusville, to protest it. And wait, is Kennedy in Texas?
Oh, do I mean Port Canaveral?
Yes, Port Canaveral is what we're talking about.
That's what I mean.
I know, because we saw the Kennedy Space Center, but I think I was just calling it the Kennedy Center for a while. Or the space station, either way. But yeah, okay. So we are in St. Augustine, Florida. Titusville is very close to Orlando, so it was like a 3-hour drive from us, maybe. And April was convinced that this thing was going to explode and blow us all off the map. So for no actual calculated reason, we just decided to take a road trip up to it was somewhere around Hot Springs in Georgia. So our plan was like to find this beautiful camping spot and to sleep in the car overnight because we did not have a tent on the day of the launch. So we drove up to Georgia. We did get lost in a very frightening part of Alabama real quick, where I was like, oh, I don't want to come here again. Literally, we crossed the border and it was just bleak. It was bleak, and it was all like pawn shops and gun shops and Confederate flags. And we were like, let's get the fuck out of here. I mean, I'm sure that is also in Georgia. But that was my intro to Alabama.
Yikes.
And we basically like got near the camping site, went somewhere and bought food that wasn't going to go bad in the car. We didn't bring a cooler or anything. I remember at some point we got bricks of cheese that Chris made fun of us. He was like, what are you going to do with all that cheese? And we were like, eat it. And he was like, what, like a candy bar? And I was like, yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
So we spent the night. We definitely had like a weird little run-ins with the people who were at actually camping around us instead of just sleeping in their cars like weirdos. We drove back, and like on the way back, we discovered that they had to scrub the launch because they do like there's very specific conditions under it. So we had gone all the way out in the middle of nowhere, and then we had to come back because we had school. So we decided to go the night of the next scheduled launch to protest. They don't let you just drive up
to a shuttle launch
to Cape Canaveral at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh my God.
With our little Cassini, like anti-Cassini signs. We thought for sure that the grannies would be out. We were like, surely if there were protests before, there will be protests again. Everyone was in bed. The people at the gate were basically like, no. There were no camera crews. There was like nothing. So we wound up going to a Dunkin' Donuts where we could sit on the water and watch the rocket take off. I was like, well, we're here. If we're going to die, we may as well watch. And this was the only Dunkin' Donuts on the planet that didn't have any bagels, which was very annoying. And then I don't know if you know this, but when rockets launch, they go up and they keep going up, but because of the way everything, the roundness of the atmosphere,
it looks like it starts to bend.
Looks like it's going sideways and then maybe down.
Oh, no. So there was a moment, universal astigmatism.
Yes. There was a moment where we were like, well, I had my last culotta, I guess. And then somebody else, like other people had pulled up to watch the rocket take off, and they were like, you're fine. It just does that. It does that all the time. And we were like, okay.
Oh my God.
So it felt very much like we were like, we're standing up for what's right. Ooh, when in fact, like I did zero research. I was just running off of April's anger and a thing like that. I guess she must have seen it in a newspaper because we weren't watching TV. I don't even know how she heard about it.
But clearly she was a dog with a bone about plutonium. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
Amazing. Just so you know, I'm going to be writing this movie with your blessing.
I actually wrote like a fictionalized novella about that trip one time.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I wrote it for a class project.
what does it feel like? It feels like a coming of age film, almost like the
Yes.
end of an era, right?
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. But, you know,
I love that.
we were all about creating adventures. So the fact that that's how that shook out is not super surprising to me.
Wow, God,
The fact that
I
we were
love
ever
that.
able to do anything on a very handful of pennies that either, like, I was with I made the poorest friends. I don't know why I didn't make any friends with money while I was in college. We were all just broke as fuck.
I think the money people find each other.
I know. They can tell their
There's a
own.
smell to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I, I that made me think of I didn't do anything like that in college. Man, my college years were such a fucking waste. Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm gonna live
sorry.
vicariously through you. But I
Mine were ridiculous.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, I love your
Oh,
college stories. They're my fucking
they're
favorite.
insane.
One of the best trips that I took for myself as an adult, um, you know, one of the best parts about being a grown up has been being able to like figure out how and when I'm gonna see Gabby because she lives so far away.
Right.
And she's only lived far away in our adulthood, even, child adulthood. Um, and for a really, really long time, I just like didn't see her. But then a few years ago, 2019, 2018, she was coming out for the Rhinebeck Sheep Shearing and Craft Festival. It's like a big fucking deal.
Where's Rhinebeck?
Upstate New York on the Hudson side.
My friend just bought a house there. Yes, I know where
Yeah,
that is. Mhm.
it's lovely. And she was like, this is going to happen and I'm going to come out. And when I do, I'm going to like stay with you for a hot second. And then you come hang out with me. This must have been fall of 19, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, fall of 19. And so
Was that the year of the soup tattoos?
that was 2018.
Oh, okay.
She got that in 2018. So she comes out and she visits me at my house and I take her out for like good Jersey Italian. And then what she was going to do was camp with her brother at some bizarre campsite. And I didn't want to potentially like sleep on a rock all night and then be fucked for the next day. So what I found for myself, and it was one of few occasions where I was traveling alone. What I found for myself was an Airbnb like Airstream trailer on the middle of a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my God, that's amazing. A real Airstream. I've always wanted to stay in an Airstream. Jen!
Yeah. It was, actually it was very quaint. Like they didn't make it yowza looking like a diner inside. It was super quaint. Very like 90s mom, just, putting like little silk flowers here and like, medium grain wood there. But it was an incredible individuation at a time where, gosh, if that was fall of 19, I had gone through this period of like deep depression and suicidality because I wasn't coming out. And actually, it was on the heels of one other really cathartic trip. Like in fall of 19, I did some really big things for myself. And it was like the first time I was really doing that for me as a human being because she's been in LA for so long and she's not anymore. She's in San Francisco now, but because she was in LA for a really long time, anytime I would go out for business, like benefited because I was able to see her. And now I don't really think I'm going to like seek to go to LA. Like if I have to go, I'll go and I'll see other people. But like the best part of going to LA by far and away was getting time again with my best friend.
Oh yeah.
And so I know I'm on the verge of realizing that I need to come out in order to like reclaim my life. And in September of 2019, I was in I was going to Angeles National Forest to do a like 3-day long camp called Camp Heal. So Project Heal was doing an adult ED recovery healing camp.
That's
And
great.
it was amazing. And I was selected as like a workshop facilitator. And so I was there as like a counselor.
Mhm.
And I flew to LA and I immediately saw Gabby. She and I got together early and we went to a spa together.
Nice.
Yes, yes, yes. We went, I met her and we had food and we went to a spa and it was amazing. I was in LA a bunch this year. I was with her a
Yeah.
lot this year. So I go to Angeles National Forest and I rent a car. They provided me with a rental car and I had to drive out of LA and through what you'd imagine is sort of like an incorporated forest, like whatever, it's still LA. No, it is the Badlands. I mean, it's not
Wow.
literally the Badlands, but it is like narrow, winding, crazy roads that are on the mouth of canyons through
No.
areas that have absolutely no cell service. And I'm on this ride for a very long time. And then I have to like turn off of the highway, which still has no service. And I'm like, I might die. I might die. And then the road that I have to go on to get to the camp is so narrow. And I'm just in a sedan. It's so narrow and it's like crumbling off the side.
Hate
It's
it.
unpaved and it's stark. And like you can see down and it's not, I wouldn't say it's a giant precipitous fall. I would say it was steep and not, not falling off a cliff, but definitely falling down into a ravine.
Yeah, that's plenty.
That was plenty. And I got in. Did I come in at night? I did. I came in at night and I could tell that that was still the situation. And I was fucking terrified.
Uh-huh.
I got there and then a bunch of other people had taken like a transpo van. And I realized that a much larger vehicle was there on this like sheer rock face. It was, we all like just wet our pants at how horrible this how harrowing the journey was.
Yeah.
And then I remember when we left a few days later, I made sure to leave with another employee so that we could follow each other and so that one of us could alert the camp if something had happened.
That's really smart. That's really smart.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Why did I bring that up? Because this is what predated my trip to Rhinebeck. I rented this Airstream trailer in like shortly after that very cathartic trip to Camp Heal, which it just was. It was just this ascendant experience because outside of that, everybody who was there vibrated so fucking high. And it wasn't even an overtly queer experience the way that like, Girl Scout camp was, right? It was not overtly queer at all, but somehow it was safe enough and healing enough and like just whatever enveloped me there. And like the reminder of Girl Scout camp too, I was surrounded by like olfactory memories and like camp food and bug juice. And I think that plus me being at this precipice was enough to push me into like, oh fuck, I need to come out. Like, I don't want to die. I want to be gay. So
oh, I love you so much.
I love you. Yeah, that was it wasn't even somebody being like, "Are you queer?" and me being like, "Yeah." It was totally just like I think it was just put me back in Girl Scout camp again. And that's what
Wow.
all the things that should have clicked when I was a child but all the children could eat glass
Right.
when I was an adult, and I was a counselor, and all of the campers were adults, and they were precious, and everybody was just a precious person. And straight, queer, trans, cis, like male, female, it didn't matter. It was such a liberating energy and an embracing and healing energy. And I was like, oh my God, okay, this has to happen. And so I started making more time for myself after that. And so I planned this Rhinebeck trip with Gabby, and Gabby was like, I'm going to come to New York and go to this sheep festival. And I'm like, I will be there.
Amazing.
You don't have to tell me twice. So she came to visit me in Jersey, and I fed her a bunch of Italian food. And then I met her and her brother up at this campsite where the three of us just howled like feral fucking monkeys for the entire night. And then I drove in the pitch black through like 1-lane roads to this farm where I had this trailer, and like the woman who owned the place came out to find me with a lantern, and of course I had no service, and there were no lights anywhere. Like the light pollution is completely non-existent, and I just looked up and was like enveloped by stars. They were right there and so bright, and I just felt like I felt like part of nature. Like I had come back to myself in a really profound way. And here I am, like in this grassy field among like cows right outside the trailer, and like with this whole blanket of bright, huge stars just right there. And it was just for me. It was just for me. And I didn't sleep on rocks. And then I was up at like 6 a.m. with Gabby and her brother Chris. And like we had this gorgeous, beautiful, holistic day together, just being around farm animals and yarn and like homemade lip balm and shit. And it was so wonderful. It was amazing. It was amazing. You would really enjoy it too.
I'm enjoying it already.
You are very much enjoying picking up what I'm putting down. That was beautiful. And like, it was so simple. It was just that one night. It was just that one night. And then, memories. And then I didn't even go back home. I went directly to New York from there. I went into the city because I was doing a reading of, were you reading for Polly when Claire Ayoub, that delightful redhead, was doing my stage directions for the reunion?
I don't remember.
Or was Jackie doing it when you read?
I genuinely don't recall.
Claire is a screenwriter director who's absolutely fantastic, fantabulous, and she directed this film called Empire Waste.
Oh, you know about that? That's like just about to launch, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to be released, but I'm so excited for it. We will watch it together. I'm so thrilled. Claire is the shit. Claire is a dear friend, and I just think the world of her. And I was about to, for all of her many, many like live table reads, she was having actors come join her, and she invited me before I even knew her. We were just internet friends, and I was going to read for the teenage lead who's like 15 years old, but I read her lead several times over the course of her development. So then I got to like go to the city and be like the queer teenage version of myself.
Oh, so many things falling into place.
Yeah. It was a really transformative like month in particular. And then I was left with like, okay, what are you going to do with this? And then I was like, cower in a corner? Freeze? Can we freeze now?
I buy a sticker and put it on my computer. See how that feels.
Not wrong.
I know, I
DJ.
remember.
Yes, it was Deej's sticker from Moonbase Theta Out.
Mm-hmm.
And it said space is queer. And it was the that artist who does the like the fat mermaids and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I put 2 little stickers on my computer and I was like, this is how I'm going to occupy gay space.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we started this podcast.
Exactly. Because these trips are sort of what those first talks arrived from.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I need to change my life. I need to do something. So those have been, yeah. And I think the special thing about Girl Scout camp is that that's exactly what made Camp Heal so powerful for me in whatever sense it was. Like, there was no moment where somebody saw me and was like, you're queer, you need to come out. That's what's wrong. It was just this loving, beautiful atmosphere. And like, it was technically beautiful, even though I don't usually find dusty climates to be beautiful. I don't like the feeling of dirt puffs on my feet and legs.
I feel that.
I love a humid place.
Mm-hmm.
Please, I would prefer mud over dusty, puffy dirt. And that
Over
alone
play
makes
boogers.
me, oh my God, it makes me just lose my mind about like walking in sandals in LA. I'm like, how do all of you deal with this? It's disgusting, in my opinion. But other than that, it was quite beautiful there. And yeah, and it was definitely the feeling of Girl Scout camp and like the smell of that wood and like and I was like, my life was supposed to take a different trajectory. Something is happening.
That olfactory part is real, man. That
it was
like
so real.
It immediately hits your brain, and it hits it so fast in such a recall way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that was the most accelerating factor. Just like how a hot day outside makes all the flowers go sproyoing.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I really think that was it.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I've had lots of opportunity over the last few years to travel to perform burlesque, and like, I mean, when we went to Alaska and then took the helicopter out to the glacier, like that was profound.
Yes.
Being in Boise, Idaho, which I'm told if you're from there, it's Boise, not Boise. And that's how, like, if people here are like, oh, I'm going to go to Houston Street, and you're like, oh, you're not from New York. It's Boise to people who live there.
In case you want to be an undercover Idahoan.
Right. That's also a series I would watch.
Is it like Ozark?
Yes.
But more polite?
But like being in that valley, and then they took us up to a hot springs, which was basically, it was a swimming pool, but it was fueled, it was fed
right.
by hot natural spring water. And going around, literally they were like, you're not going to have cell service for about 4 hours. And I was like, oh, really? No, come on. And literally we went around a corner and then up a mountain, and the second we went around that corner, everybody's phones were like blurp.
No.
So that was wild, but that was really beautiful, and I was with such a fun group of lovely people who I had just met. And like, you know, I mean, I knew like 3 of them beforehand, but it was just, we're all going into nature together, and then we're all gonna just like soak in this pool. And it was so cool. It was just so cool. I'm glad that, you know, obviously everybody's glad that things are less terrible now, but it does, I'm now just starting to feel like maybe I feel normal in the world again.
I get that. I totally get that.
And I'm still, you know, wearing masks on public transit. I still am probably going to be squirrely in crowds for the rest of my life, probably. That's fine. But it is, other than the fact I told you the subways are terrible at night right now in New York. Oh my God. I got on, I was out in Ditmas Park the other night, and the queue. It was cute.
It's so
I
cute.
haven't really had occasion to be out there, but yeah, got on the train and the queue is local and
Do
it's
you remember?
far. Huh, what?
Do you remember when I told you about working for that crazy theater
The horseshoe
company?
crab thing?
Not quite
No.
that one.
Okay.
Not quite that one. That one was Brighton Beach.
The one with the bar with the bugs.
No, this was the guy who was psychotic and was doing a play about HIV, and he put us in the carriage house with no heat.
Yeah.
That was in Ditmas Park. And I was
It's
like, how is a
okay.
man who lives in the cutest, most little Victorian enclave of Brooklyn such a piece of human shit?
I mean, those are not mutually exclusive.
I know, right? The overlap is more telling than I would like.
Oh,
So you're on
but
the
yeah,
Q train.
yeah. I mean, I think I already told you this because you were. I got on the first car that I got on. Somebody had smoked an entire cigarette, and I know the difference between weed smoke and cigarette smoke. This was cigarette smoke lingering in the air, and I have to tell you, it's not
Ah,
the first time in recent memory I have gotten on a train and someone in the train is smoking a cigarette. Like I have
wow.
also experienced the weed thing, which is annoying to me, but it's definitely not as gross to me.
No. Mm-mm.
Um, Still very inconsiderate, but that again, things that I never saw before COVID.
Yeah.
People were you would occasionally see someone smoking a cigarette on a platform, but not on the fucking
Not in a
train.
car.
So I changed cars, and so like I was like,
Ew.
should I keep going or should I just sit down here? And there was like an Orthodox Jewish guy sitting to the left, and then close to him was a man talking very loudly, and I realized he was probably talking on the phone. Who knows if he was or wasn't, but he was
Mhm.
probably talking on the phone very loud about eating pussy.
Oh no. No, no, I missed
I didn't
this
tell you about
story
this.
too.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
And I was
This is
like,
my day.
do we want to find out what's behind door number 3? I don't think we do. I think I'm gonna sit next to this like Orthodox guy and this guy yelling. Like he doesn't seem that worried about it.
Okay, but to be fair, was he
Uh,
yelling correctly or were the tactics he was yelling about really awful?
oh no, he actually wasn't describing how he would do it. He just was talking about how much he loves it.
I
Very
mean,
pro, very pro eating pussy. But yeah, every time I go in the city now, every time, and like I was with Falana one time not too long ago where we walked through cars until we ran out of train, and there was some fucking shenanigans happening
no.
on like 6 different cars.
This is some Broad City shit now.
It feels like it all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just want to get home. And also it took almost 2 hours for me to get home.
Oh no.
And I didn't and it was I left at like 10:45, and
Oh God.
I got home after midnight.
I hate it.
So okay, an hour and a half to an hour 45, not 2 hours, but
That's too long.
either way.
That's too long.
I don't know. I moved here because it felt really accessible all the time, and now it really doesn't feel like that all the time.
No.
I'm gonna have to I'm just changing habits and how I go home and paying attention to when I have to leave places, and I don't like having to do that, but that's where we
Yeah.
at.
You know, our friend Jackie, Jackie has been bopping around between Jersey and Florida for a while.
Yes.
And she was like, we were catching up and she was like, I'm just like, I can't wait to get back to New York. And I was like, babe, are you sure? I was like, Lillian tells me shit is still like feral and strange there. Like, what are you going back for? Like, just find a nice place in Montclair and go in for
Sure.
the day and come back out. Like,
Yep.
why would you pay for it to be that crazy? I get
Hmm.
it if you would pay for what it was, 5 years ago,
Hmm.
but why would you pay for what's happening now
Right.
when it's not a bargain?
No, it's crazy expensive, and it feels more unsafe than ever. And I'm trying not to I'm trying to observe my feelings and
Yes.
not like wallow in them. So like
Yes.
I'm trying not to let it scare me from doing things, but at some point there's going to be a tipping point where it's just not worth it to me to stay out late, which is very difficult because there are burlesque brunches, but not many. But yeah, I'm definitely not trying to go out on a Tuesday to a show that starts at 10 o'clock anymore at all, unless I can walk there from Port Authority. Port Authority has been the most consistently not weird, which is, I know every time I say that to somebody, people are like, oh, wah, wah, wah. No, Port Authority has been far more safe feeling I mean, so you got two factors here, right? The actual Port Authority bus terminal is all like, if you're there while buses are still leaving, so I'll never be there past, I mean, my last bus is 1:15. There are buses that leave a little bit later, but I will only be there later if my bus is late. And there's enough people around. Even if people are irritated or pushy or seem a little cracked out, like there's still enough people around to self-regulate. And the trains at night are not that. It's like a little bit desolate. There, you might get in a car with like 5 people and 3 of them are bonkers.
Right. Which is really
or
crazy.
Behaving in an erratic way. So yeah, I mean, the weirdest thing that you see in Port Authority is an occasional pigeon. And okay, there was, and I actually really appreciated this. This week, I was on an escalator going up, and a man was on the same escalator as me, walking backwards down the escalator, just because he had nothing else to do.
Come on, man.
And I tried to take a little video of it, but then he stopped and was like looking into my camera, and I was like, okay, fine. But that was funny. You know what I mean? That didn't seem threatening in any way. That was just somebody being weird.
Yeah, but the space to be that weird right now is a weird thing.
Yeah.
Right? The space to just not have a lot of people around and choose to just do whatever the fuck you would want to do with that space is alarming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
I have a praise report though.
Oh, tell me.
That is because of your tales. So, fuck buddies, fun news. I'm gonna be starring in a movie.
Yay!
I'm very excited. And to be quite frank, it's gonna be like a month. And originally I was gonna commute in, but the last time that I shot the starring role in a whole film was fucking exhausting, and I was on location, which means that everybody, that was another obviously transcendent trip, was shooting Love on the Run and being up in essentially like the Hudson Valley. So beautiful. On a lake, it just at eternal movie camp. It was so special. So we were on location, and we'd wrap at like 8 or 9 p.m. and I would sit outside at the campfire with the crew for like an hour or two, and then I would go the fuck to bed, and I would sleep until like 5 a.m. or whatever. So I would get rest. Now, if I were going to commute in for this movie, I would have to get from Queens to Penn to my station to my house at night after wrapping. And I was on the phone with Jackie, and Jackie was like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck. No, I'm not. No, I'm going to wrap and get home and maybe be in bed by like 11:30, 12, and then wake up ass crack early, be under-rested, and also have a whole lot of hoops to jump through before I can like safely sit in hair and makeup." And so that's
exhausting to do all of that.
So my praise report is, I talked to my agent and I was like, I know we already discussed this, but maybe could I be on location instead? And it sounds like they're going to be working with me on that. So I am going to put myself up in the city.
Yay!
For like a month. And like I'll come home on weekends and I'll hang out with Jory and the dogs. But
Oh my God, we can play.
we can play.
Awesome.
Yeah, I am so excited. I'm very excited. Like, it's such a fabulous expenditure of my energy. It's such a boss fucking move, and it feels very safe, and it feels very protective of like my time and my life force and my rest and my body. And yeah,
for people who haven't done anything like that, for me it's not the amount of time I'm sitting on a train. It's the like, if you have to do 4 things to get where you're going, it's a bunch of logistics and like it's the vigilance fatigue. It's paying attention to each individual step.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it's wild how annoying and draining that can be, because if you were just like for 2 hours you can sit in one place and read a book or put on a podcast.
Yes.
No, when like you're traveling for 2 hours and out of that, like 40 minutes of it is trying to move around to other places and walking from one point to another and making sure you catch the right whatever.
Right. Ugh. It's pretty significant.
Especially at like ass crack o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God. Right. And the added adrenaline and stress of that, the added cortisol of that is like, you're also counting down the minutes that you have until you have to sit in that chair.
Yeah.
So for me to like walk out my door, drive to the train, take the train to Midtown, get on the fucking E to
Where
the 7,
going?
Long Island City.
Oh, yeah, the 7 is
to find my way to the 7. So like that's 4 giant steps.
Yeah,
that
and
all require...
and the transfer from there to the 7 is that long stupid hallway.
Yes, right.
That someone is also usually smoking a cigarette in now these days.
Several people. God, I hate that. There is nothing I hate more than that vast expanse from 8th to 7th to 6th.
It's
to
so
Broadway.
Terrible. Yep.
It's awful. That underground. Ugh.
Yeah, it's awful.
Don't miss that. Can't remember the last time I had to do that. Hate it. So like this is going to take all of that off of my immediacy plate, because something didn't feel right with me commuting in and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I think it's that. And like it's gonna be an intense film. It's gonna be dramatic. It's gonna ask a lot from me. Like I don't just show up and give a few yucks and like walk off. Like I am on camera all the time. Doing some big shit. Excited about it. But also I probably need to like just lay my head close by and settle and plant myself and like yay. Praise report.
Amazing. I have a lot of I have a very cool gig that is sort of adjacent to standardized patient stuff, but I'm technically not supposed to talk publicly about it, so I'm not going to go into what it is. But I have 2 weeks worth of work coming up that is super rewarding in multiple different ways. It's people who I like to work with. It's places that I've already been, so there's no weird like that anticipation anxiety that I get. It's work that I really enjoy doing, and the ripple effects of the benefits from it are widespread and nourishing. So
hooray.
And money is good too, but yeah, really good stuff.
Nice.
Oh wait, and Abby and I are going to be producing, Abby Fantastic and I will be producing a new episode of Bounce House Burlesque.
Bounce House too.
At Coney Island, July 1st. So we're in the middle of casting that. So that's going to be really fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes.
Boop,
Praise
boop, boop.
received.
Yay. Spear fingers. Well, I love you, and I'm excited about the prospect of working with you on all of that stuff. And yay.
Also, I'm going to put this in our little universe jar. I think you and I should take a cathartic trip somewhere.
Yeah, I think clearly.
I think let's go escape some fucking plutonium.
Yes. Let's do it.
Where should we go, fuck buddies? Let us know.
Ooh, let us know.
We should find like a little camp or a little retreat or a something.
I could do a cabin. I'm definitely not doing a tent.
No, not a tent.
No.
No. I won't put myself through that either. Glamping at best.
Also, FYI, I'm never there is a glamping situation out on Roosevelt Island. No, Governor's Island. Roosevelt Island people actually live there. Governor's Island is where they have like the Jazz Age lawn party stuff. There's like old military barracks and stuff out there. And now they have a spa and a very fancy glamping situation. However, I have heard from multiple people that the rats are insane. So if you're thinking you're going to have a nice night at a campfire while watching the friggin' New York skyline, for not cheap, it's like $500 a night or something like that.
Oh my God.
Anyway, public service announcement.
Wow, necessary as people embark on their like magical, whimsical summer. Reality check.
Governor's Island is wildly overhyped.
Oh, wow.
Anyway.
Amazing. Also, I didn't know people lived on Roosevelt Island. Does that mean I have to take
Roosevelt Island, not Governor's Island?
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who live on Roosevelt Island. For a while, you weren't allowed to own cats there because they were worried that the cats would like be unspayed and then like multiply and take over the island. But within the last 10 years, they started letting them on again, probably because of the rats. But yeah, there's a tram, and then there's a train station that's like, we could go out there one day. It is not, there's nothing to do. There's one bar and it's in the back of a drugstore. There's a lot of Zog sports people running around, and there is a mental hospital that takes like the patients out for walks every day.
I don't know what is a Zog?
Oh, Zog sports is like recreational league sports. There's some sport ball fields out there.
Wow. Wild.
And then there's one street that goes like straight up the middle, and there's no sun on it because it's bordered by giant buildings on each side. It's a very weird place. If you ever, I would recommend, instead of going to Roosevelt Island, just watching the movie Dark Water, because it is based on Roosevelt Island.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
With Jennifer Connelly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that came out while we were working at Lush and all had to go down that scary ass elevator.
Yes.
Which was featured in the ads for this movie of like her in an elevator going down into the water. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh shit. I learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Well, we hope that you guys learned a lot too, fuck buddies.
That's right, fuck buddies. We loves ya.
I guess we will see you soon.
All right. Stay safe out there.
I don't have a wrap up line. Be vigilant. Take a self-defense course.
Don't go to Governor's Island.
Don't go to Governor's Island. No amount of self-defense is going to save you from those rats.
Bye bye.
Bye.
No.